In today's video, we are going to be fixing another broken appliance. This time, it's going to be this broken stove. Now, I've already diagnosed the problem to figure out what part needed to be bought, and today I'm going to be installing it and showing you how I came to that conclusion and how I diagnosed this to figure it out. Firstly, I just want to say I don't recommend buying Samsung appliances. As once again, this is thanks to the great quality of Samsung that makes these repair videos possible. This is a Samsung stove and oven cooktop. And I don't say that it's bad just because of this one issue. Samsung fridge ice maker is also bad. This had an issue before, don't remember what it was. You guys may remember the video of when I had to replace the drain pump on this Samsung washing machine. The Samsung dryer has also failed about 3 different times. Some of those were still under warranty, but it needed a new board, and I don't remember what else happened to it. Basically, this microwave is the only Samsung appliance that has been fine. So what is wrong with this is this cooktop here, which is operated by this switch here. This is unfortunate because this is the best burner to use on this. This is the highest power rated one, and it's the 3-section. It has a 1200 watt inner, 1200 watt secondary, and the third ring is, I believe it was a 600 watt rated element. Why this light is on when the burner isn't on is because of what I've done so far. So right now it's working because I was able to temporarily fix the old switch. Don't do what I did. That was only temporary and the switch needs to be replaced, and that's what we're doing today. So that switch is the whole issue here. It's not the element itself. And right now I was able to temporarily fix it enough that it still works, but as you can see, it keeps the light on that should only be on when it's on all the time. There's another problem with it too, which may be unrelated. I don't know. Since after taking this front panel apart, which doesn't really have any of the controls for the oven cooling is staying on. So this is constantly running the oven cooling fan. Couldn't tell you what's going on there. I can't figure out why that would be related to this control switch for the cooktop, but we're not going to worry about it until after, and we'll see if the problem continues. All right, let's get things started here. To get this front section off is pretty easy. We just need to open up either the top oven, or actually the whole oven would make this easier. And then there's 4 screws under here. Now this can pivot upwards and it will come out. And is what I do here is I put the oven door most of the way back up so this can rest here without pulling on the wires. And this is our problem switch right here. Now to find out it's the switch and not the element, you need to check the resistance of the element. I'll show you how that works. So the way I checked it was undoing this connector here that goes to this switch for this big element. So I opened this up here. Then you got to figure out which pin does what. And you do that with the schematics here, or diagram, which isn't the best, but it works. All I care about is this page here. So here we have radiant heater right front. This is the one we want. And here you can see that the brown wire there, BR, that's common. That's going to do everything. Now, O, or orange, that's going to be your inner heater. Yellow is going to be your center heater element, and red is going to be your outer. Now here they don't really give you any detailed information other than it's supposed to be a total of 3,000 watts. That's for this entire element. That's pretty simple to do, so just using your basic Ohm's law you can figure out what that is. But I will show you. So we're going to put to continuity and resistance. We know brown here is our common. So I'll meter from brown to what was our first one, that was orange. There you have 47 ohms. Brown to yellow, which was the center. We have also 47 ohms, and brown to red, we have 65 ohms. So then we can use our Ohm's law. We know resistance, we know voltage, we want to know wattage. We know we're at 240 volts and our resistance is 47 for the two and 65 for the outer. So here, we want to get power. We have voltage and we have resistance. So is what we're going to do here is we need voltage 240 squared over 47. So we had that twice times 2. That gives us 2451 watts. But then we also have that plus voltage again, 240 squared over 65 equals 3,300. So we're a little high. But we certainly don't have an open element. If anything, our element is a little too good. We're a little higher power than we're supposed to be. I also know that because I fixed this and all the elements still works, but that's besides the point. If this said OL and was open, then your element's no good. So I'm going to plug this connector back in. I don't need that open anymore. And I'm going to open up all these connections here. There we go. Then on the other side here, I'm going to take this dial off. Keep that part, you don't get a new one of those. Same with this light portion, which we're going to take these 2 screws out, which these go all the way through to hold the actual switch on, as well as holding the illuminated ring around the dial. Which we might actually not need to take out. If it stays in here, then that's fine. You can see that's loose now. All right, so this can pop back out. I'll show you the inside of this old one here first. This is why I'm replacing this, because I already opened this, so it's not even really closed anymore the way it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can get this open here. So there you go. This switch here brings in each element. This whole thing here, I actually don't know what it is, what this switch is. I don't know if it's some thermal cutout or I'm assuming it might override all of this. Maybe with the thermostat, this brings this on or not, and then that will just be based on your selection. I don't know, but the contact on this was like broken off and holding this open. So I took it apart, and for now it's fixed, but you can see how black this got. Now this is darkened here. Same with this. It's all garbage, needs to go. So, put in the model number, found a new one. It's like $116 Canadian, but what are you gonna do? Cheaper than a new stove. There you have it. Does it look the same? Yeah, it looks the same. So facing the same way we got it out. This is going to go back into here and we'll screw it in, which you need to hold it down here for it to really work properly. Otherwise, one of your screws can be pushing on it and the other one hasn't really properly engaged. That was a terrible way of explaining that. All right, that is secured. We can put all our connections back on here. This guy was here, that was here. That really only could go there, and that was there. I accidentally didn't record it, but I've put our new dial back on, and it spins around like it should. So, I'll put the stove front back on here. This might be a little late for me to tell you this is not a tutorial. I am not an appliance repair person. This is not my job. Electrical is my job. This has electrical in it, but that's about as close as I get. And I dropped that. All right, now we'll plug it in and see if it blows up or not. Okay, so one thing's better. This is not illuminated. Before we test it, you should move the schematics off of it. And, all right, first we'll turn it to small. I can feel the heat. Doesn't really show up on camera well. Oh, there you can see it. Okay, set to small. You see small ring is on middle. Give it a few seconds. There we go. I see the middle ring is coming on. And put on high. All of the rings should be on. That should be our full 3000 watts. Cool. Shut it back down. Our time isn't on. Our light isn't on, and all right, oven cooling's not on. Let's make sure everything still works fine here. Guess that's too much of a differential temperature. Well, now guess we didn't let it get hot enough yet for oven cooling, but anyway, that seems to be working. Why would oven cooling possibly be related to this? I couldn't tell you. The other thing to check is the hot surface light is working. Oh, yeah, the surface is hot. All right, that's good. So this thing's fixed, but I have a nerdy question or wonder. And I have people that watch these videos that are smarter than me and know more than me, so maybe somebody can let me know. Firstly, the rated total power of this stove is 14,500 watts. That's for everything here. Whole thing is rated at 14,500. But at 240 volts, that gives us just over 60 amps. How is that legal when this is on a 40 amp circuit and wiring size for a 40 amp circuit? Sometimes stoves or ranges, I should be calling this, you'll see on 50 amp, but oftentimes it's on a 40 amp like this one is. But this thing can drop to up to 60 amps if everything's on. My other thing I want to know is how this works is that's actually not everything on. If you add the total here of every element, everything that can be on the cooktop and the oven, that gives us 17,750. That gives us just shy of 84 amps at 240 volts. Obviously, it won't allow that to happen because its rated input is 14,500. But if it did, that'd be over double the ampacity of the circuit. So is what I wonder is, obviously it's shedding load. It's not allowing that to all happen. It's not allowing everything to be on. I'm wondering how it does that. Like, what elements will it not allow on at the same time? Or will it allow everything on at the same time? It'll just cycle what's heating at what time, because usually your stovetop elements will cycle on and off anyways. So I'm wondering if it will still allow everything on. It'll just alternate what's on and possibly take longer to get to the desired temperature you're looking for. I'm really curious. If anyone knows, let me know, because I'm interested, but not gonna lie, I'm too lazy to kind of figure this out here. Anyways, those are some of the thoughts and wonders that I have. But it appears the stove is fixed. Oven cooling isn't on. Oh yeah, I guess, I mean, if anyone knows why the hell this switch would have anything to do with the thing running oven cooling, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that I somehow goofed up this ring to not be on, or for this ring light to stay on, but oven cooling, I thought all the oven controls other than that touch panel were all down here, all the actual hardware for it. Anyway, I'll push this thing back here. That's still really warm. That is a very tight fit. Next thing that I gotta fix, I don't know if I'll make a video on it, is this thing. This is Grandma's air fryer, and it won't come on. She thinks it's something to do with the switch for the drawer. When you put the drawer in, I guess it usually lights up and it's not. So we'll have to see if that's what it is or what's going on with this thing. By the way, for anyone that cares, I got a new phone. So if the video looks any different, that would be why. Sometimes I use my real camera. Sometimes, actually more often than not, I use my phone. So anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section down below. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching.